Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Rongan's podcast. I'm Dinesh Saki, joined by Amar. Amar,
Hello, how are you?
not too bad, thanks. You?
Yeah, all good. Have you
Yes.
recovered now from yesterday's match? Um,
Yes. It took a while to sink in, but yeah, finally, I think I came to terms in terms of obviously watching the King score a century.
I hope
That's
you're
what,
talking about King from the Indian side.
of course, there's only one.
There's only one King, right?
There's only one King. I think people starting to realize that.
Yeah,
Yes,
but some are
there
calling him
are.
Emperor than King.
Yeah, there'll always be play potential kings from other avenues,
Wannabe kings.
but yeah, wannabe king sort of thing. But that's where potential kicks in. But there'll always be one who sort of
There's only
leads.
one King.
Yeah, there's only one king.
Exactly.
That's King Kohli. What a knock! What a knock!
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I think this should shut all the people who have been wanting to, see him
Yeah, walk
take
away
the
from
high
the
road.
game.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's not worth it. Yeah, all the PR and everything that goes around, and all those people on the socials, having a free voice. But irrespective, obviously, not much is going to change. There'll always be people who would talk him down, but he always delivers, and and this is something I've been really really echoing my sentiment in terms of look, it's a matter of time. Big day, big game, big stage, the big players always deliver. That's sort of my tagline over the last couple of years for people. Things will happen, and they'll happen at their own pace. It happened at the 2024 final when it was critical. The 70 made the difference. Happened again yesterday. It's 100, but it's worth the wait, I suppose. That's at least my opinion.
Coming from a diehard Kohli fan, looks like.
You can say so. I mean, there'll always be
There- There's there's
players.
there's nothing wrong in admitting that.
One favorite, right? It's and you don't just end up being his fan just because of a knock or a game here or two or a series here or two, right? He's delivered this consistently, and he's done this over what, decade or 2 decades now, maybe close to. So yeah, yeah. I'm very happy.
And I can say you're not alone. So yeah,
Absolutely, yeah. I'm
as,
sure there's
as I.
Indians, and not just this side of the pond, but what I've learned is there's a lot of fans in Pakistan who showed up to local gatherings, whatever, and a lot of them are actually, rather than supporting the nation, they're supporting this one player, saying they wanted him.
Yeah, I mean, imagine about if this century he had made in Pakistan.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
really.
they would have enjoyed as well. Even if Pakistan were losing, they would have still cheered for Kohli. So yeah,
And absolutely, that's what we need, right? End of the day, it's a sport, as much as emotions to take over and everything else set aside. You got to appreciate the batsman, you got to appreciate the player and what is delivering, and what is done for a nation, for the sport, and obviously everyone else. And yeah, like you pointed out, right now, I definitely want to go over at some point, hopefully before he walks away from the sport, probably play a bilateral series, whatever that means, and then hopefully the fans across the other side as well get experience firsthand, how it is to watch someone Virat Kohli. And we've seen this with past Sachin, and they have their own grades as well, the Akrams and Wakarinis, and when we see them ball, irrespective you're on the other side, the adrenaline to sit in that ground and see them run in ball those quick yorkers, and it's just an experience. And absolutely hopefully something works out, and the Pakistani fans also get to see Virat Kohli live in Pakistan at some point. Now,
great.
on that note, maybe we'll just shift focus to the actual game from yesterday. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's the second game in the Group A between Pakistan and India. And for viewers who are not sort of familiar with the reason why the game's been played in Dubai versus UAE versus not in Pakistan is obviously we sort of covered that in the previous podcast. Various reasons. Obviously, India couldn't travel to Pakistan for the series, so India's sort of games will be held in UAE, and that's where Pakistan traveled, and the game was scheduled yesterday. Was played in Dubai. In terms of a quick summary on the scorecard, obviously Pakistan batted first. The managed made 241. And the reason I say that is because these pitches and the current batting lineup, and obviously with everything that's played around T20, 240, 250 maybe a decade ago was a good target, but nowadays, it's a easy chaseable target. Is what we've noticed, and obviously, India sort of chased down the target in 42 overs, 244 for four. And like I pointed out, there was a century from Virat Kohli, the king himself. He was on 100 not out of 117 deliveries with 7 fours and a ton of singles and doubles. He ran a lot. I'm keen to look at his steps for yesterday, and obviously, his heart rate and whoop and everything else. Like an insight into what he's probably managed yesterday. But yeah, really shifting focus into Pakistan, right? Obviously, there's one change. Fakar Zaman, got injured in the previous game, so he's replaced by Imam Ul Haq, who sort of took the opening role. And then obviously he opened alongside Babar Azam, so Shakil and Mohammad Rizwan put in a really good partnership, and then obviously a small contribution from Kushil Shah. But in terms of Pakistan's batting approach, Amar, your take on the way things unfolded with the opening stand, and then obviously there was a good partnership that developed between South Shakil and Rizwan. But then for me personally, when Rizwan got out, I think the game sort of turned on its head. But yeah, I'd like you to share your thoughts on if Pakistan could have done anything different.
Well, we have, we are seeing this trend now with Pakistan that they don't kind of have a second gear, and that's what ended up happening in this as well. They started, relatively in a stable way, where Imam Ul Haq and Babar Azam, they were very cautious and they tried to see the early phase of the match. Of course, Pakistan won the toss and they elected to bat first, thinking that in such crunch games, if they put up a relatively good total, then the other side would falter because of the pressure situations in such kind of contest. And India Pakistan has never been a match without pressure on their players. So it was good of them to win the toss and then choose to bat. And like I was saying, Imam and Babar both started relatively well, but then they in fact it was helped by, I would say, by Shami. Shami in his first over, or the first over of the match, he bowled 5 wides. So in that sense, Babar would have kind of Babar and Imam, they both would have kind of been relieved of the pressure a little bit. So although they had a relatively stable start, they couldn't on to capitalize on that because Hardik Pandya came in and then he took Babar Azam's wicket. So, but the thing was that I think that happened later on, isn't it? The first one was Imam. Well, when they were relatively okay, and then there was a misjudgment of the run that happened with Imam, and there was no run at all, and Akshar Patel, I think he hit the stumps. So all in all, they could have gone well. Like I said, that they had a relatively good start, then good start in the sense stable start, but they couldn't go ahead because of this run out. And then Hardik Pandya came in, and then he bowled. He kept his line. He was bowling really well. In fact, I felt he bowled better than Shami and Harshit Rana as well. So and we saw that Babar Azam nicked one of his deliveries, and Rahul was good to take his catch behind the stumps. So I would say not a good. They couldn't capitalize on that. The stable start. So straight away, Pakistan were under pressure because 2 wickets had fallen. Um, Shout Shakil and Rizwan, uh, the honors came onto them, and they kind of tried to bat through the middle overs, and they made sure that runs. The scoreboard was moving, but as it always happens with Pakistan, that they kind of try to stabilize their innings, but then whenever the situation comes that they have to push on with the run rate, that's when they fall. And yeah, we saw that Aksar got Rizwan as well, and uh, Pandya got Shad Shakil as well. So a very good half century by Shad Shakil, and Rizwan, he was close to half century, but he couldn't get there in the end. But all in all, what we are looking in Pakistan's batting performances lately are they are players who are getting a start, but they are not converting into big runs. Here also, Shahid Shakil got a half century, but he could not go on to bat and get a century. And in ODIs, you need to have one or two players who can at least bat to 80, 90, or 100 runs. At least one batsman, you need to have that kind of score to make a meaningful total, especially in this Champions Trophy when the other teams are packed with their batting batsmen throughout the to the number 7, 6, 7, 8 even. Also, I mean, this game was not in Pakistan, but we all know that in Pakistan, the pitches are batting friendly pitches. But this one was not as batting friendly, but still, if you're if you want to put up a score against India, then you have to have minimum 300. So South Shakil 62 in 76 balls, Mohammad Rizwan 46. These were the highest, and if and later on, no one else could, get runs. Khushdil Shah, he got 38 of 39. Like in the previous game, he was a guy who scored those runs in the middle and later overs. But even he could not get to his 50. So and the other guys, of course, then the bowlers followed, and they couldn't make many runs as well. So they were I think they were they were not able to score against Indian spinners in this Dubai pitch. Um, so so the runs came to a halt really. So I think in the end they made 241. They couldn't really get a move on. So all in all, it was not a challenging total for India because you at least need 300 with this batting lineup, India's batting lineup, if you want to push them to do any kind of mistakes. So I would say it was a below par performance by Pakistan batters, and not a new surprise. I mean, we have seen that in the recent past games as well. So I would say they have to think about this batting lineup now. They have to make some harsh decisions. Maybe change some personnels. I don't know, but they have to do something about it.
Yeah, if memory serves correctly, I think this couple of pieces I want to just highlight. Like I think Bauer was out first, and then the run out happened in
Okay.
quick
Okay.
succession. But yes, yeah, irrespective, yeah, like you pointed out, obviously, it was a slow start. Shami and sort of helped, the run rate in the first over, but then he sort of bounced back, and there was some good bowling. But obviously, there's not many wickets. They still managed to get through both Shami and Harshit Ranas first spell. But then Pandya came and he was actually the quick of the bowlers. He bowled 8 overs, 2 for 31 at an economy of 3.87. Followed by Kuldeep Yadav, he's got 3 for 40. But yeah, there's a good partnership development between Khushdil Shah and Rizwan. I was quite impressed with the way they, obviously they're slowly ticking along, but at least they're building the partnership and sort of getting towards, the 40 over mark. And I was hoping they'll continue to bat till 40 and then sort of look to accelerate. But I don't know what happened. What was Rizwan thinking, 34, 32nd over or slightly earlier than that. he had a chance the over before with Hardik Pandya. Harshit Rana dropped a difficult chance, but it's still a catch. But then for him to still
Yeah.
an attack, uh, Akshar Patel, which was strange. You just had a chance, and you realize like there's not much batting left, at least experienced batting left. So this is an opportunity, to rethink. But unfortunately, he had other ideas.
Yeah, I think as it goes these days in an ODI innings construction, if you are if you are at 100 run mark in first 20 overs, and then you get another 50 runs in the next 10, so at 30 over mark you are at 150. So if that happens, then you are in a relatively good position. Now,
Yeah.
if and we saw that at 30, so I think 32, 33 over mark, Pakistan were at 150. Now, what is happening is after that, the runs didn't, because usually from 30 over to, you double the score to 50 over. So if
Yeah.
they were like 150 in 32, 33 overs, then you will get to around 290 if you bat, according to the plan, then you bat and you get around 290 to 300 even. And if you have wickets left, then you can go push on and you can go to 320 even. So at 30 over 32 over mark, they were actually on target. But what it tells me that is after that they didn't get a push on. That they maybe it was the Indian spinners who kind of strangled them. But they have to find a way to score runs in the just after, so from 30 to 40 overs, which it looks like didn't happen. Um, which also tells me that this is, well, because it has not happened first time. In the previous matches also we have seen that. So it tells me that the batsmen who are playing there do not have that skill, that who can produce uh, five, 5 to 6, between 5 to 6 runs and over. Because if you don't do that, then in the later on, if you think about 40 to 50 overs, if you want to just push it, then A, you need to have that hitting power, and B, you have to really play out of your skins, especially with against the bowling attack as India has. So it clearly says that you don't have those skills. I mean, we saw that as you mentioned that they had a start, but then they couldn't push on. That means that and they got out. Actually, they were trying to hit and they got out as well, a couple of them. So it tells me that they don't have that skill to go through these plans in an ODI setup.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they sort of lacked that lower middle order and sort of like someone in the finisher's role who can actually really contribute. I know Kushil Shah really tried. He's managed to like score at 90 strike rate, but I think he was running out of partners. And at one point, he even refused to like take singles because he wanted to sort of get as much strike as possible. But yeah, as we know, and you pointed out, 300, 320 should have been, an ideal target for a batting lineup like India to at least, put them under some pressure and give a good fight. But unfortunately, no, they fell well short. But then quick word on the Indian bowlers, right? Like I pointed out, Pandya 2 for 33, and then obviously Kuldeep. It's good to see him get back in action. Obviously, he had a good 4 to 5 month break, and then he started playing some of the ODIs in the England series. Hasn't really had much luck, but then obviously to come back into the big stage, the big game against Pakistan, and to sort of pick up 3 wickets.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, when Shami started, the first over was a bit jittery. He bowled 5 wides. He was all over the pitch, and he actually bowled wides on either side. So I don't know what was happening, but we did see he was having problems with his calf, I think. So it was lucky that it was not his knee. So maybe that was troubling him. But then he came back and he corrected his line and length, and then he was good after that. But I thought Hardik Pandya was right on the money right from the start. I mean, from the first over, he was pitching the ball in right areas. He actually got a little movement as well, and got the wicket of Rizwan up front. So I think of the pacers, he was the best bowler in my opinion. Yeah, Harshit Rana, he got one wicket, and he was able to hurry the batsman as well. And it looks like he was more bowling to the pads and yeah, saying the tight lines. So that's why he could have he could stop the runs at one end. And actually he bowled with an economy of 3.91, which was really good for a pacer.
Yes.
And really good to see Kuldeep Yadav getting 3 wickets there. It looked like it was very hard for the Pakistani batsman to read, um, read from his arm really. So yeah, really good performance there. He has 3 wickets now, and we needed him to perform so that in the future matches he can be used, and he will be a good performer as well in the coming matches. As of course Ravindra Jadeja and Akshar Patel, they bowled really well as well. So all in all, it looks like a tight bowling attack. I was expecting Arshdeep Singh to be playing this match for his swing bowling, but yeah, Harshit, bowled really well. So I'm happy with that as well.
Absolutely right. And then obviously in a 244 is what India managed to score of 42 overs, just over 42. Brilliant start between Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill. As usual, they've been the best. And I was looking at the stats. Funny enough, this morning when I was watching the New Zealand Bangladesh game. So since 2021, the number of opening stands where a team scored 100, India is right at the top, rank one. They managed to do it 14 times. So these two scored 1,400 runs in the
Mm-hmm.
last 3-4 years in ODIs, and we don't have a lot of ODIs lately. But yeah, that sort of puts things into perspective in terms of how good Rohit and Gill sort of complement each other. And Rohit obviously took off, unfortunate. Maybe credit to Shaheen Shah Afridi. What a wonderful piece of delivery to get rid of Rohit Sharma.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we have seen him getting out to Shahid Shah Afridi in the similar manner in the previous. I think it was in the World Cup as well. So Afridi was always going to bowl this. So he was always going to try to get him with this in-swinging Yorker. And Rohit Sharma would have known as well, but even then, the delivery was so good that he couldn't do anything about it. And like you mentioned about the opening partnership, we have seen this now 27 times, I think, that that they have opened for India, and I think they have in total they have scored closer to 1,900 runs. So massive opening partnership, opening pair for India. This one, Rohit Sharma, obviously he went on an attack. That's the only way he could bat now. That's the only thing that works for him. So, and rightly so. If he's the captain, he's leading from the front, and he knows that if you need to attack Pakistani bowlers, you don't let them settle down because these are really great bowlers, and if you take them by the horn and then they up front, then later on it will be easier for the other batters as well. And these bowlers also, they will also kind of think twice, or the doubt will be created in their mind as well. But of course, he got a brilliant yorker from Shaheen Shah Afridi, and he fell for 20 runs. But Shubman Gill, he carried his form from the previous match, scored a brilliant 46. He could have well gone on to a half century or even a century, who knows? But it was a brilliant spinner from Abrar, and it turned quite a lot. So even Kohli, who was standing at the other end, was surprised by that. But again, effortless batting from Shubman Gill. It never looked like that he was troubled by anything. He was playing his drives. He was playing his on drives as well, and short up jabs. That is his weapon, and front foot drives. So it was a beautiful and riskless innings. It was just that Jaffa was ball that he got from Abrar, and he lost his wicket. But then comes Virat Kohli on the batting lineup, and what a brilliant innings! I mean, we will need a different all dedicated podcast for him. He's got I think 5100s now in ODIs. I don't know who else is above him in the ODIs, but I would say he will be right there at the top as well. 100 not out, got India through, and what beautiful innings! And all the shots he was playing all the shots there, and it never looked like you never looked troubled throughout his innings as well. So I think these big games bring out the best in him. And then followed by a half century by Shreyas Iyer, who batted beautifully again. And it looks like Shreyas Iyer is someone who gives that stability to the team whenever it is needed. Score boundaries at will as well whenever it's needed. So very, very important batsman in these middle overs. So yeah, really good batting performance from India.
Absolutely right. So obviously, a wonderful partnership, and if it wasn't for those two, unplayable deliveries, one from Shaheen Shah to get rid of Rohit Sharma, and one from Abrar to get rid of Gill, I think it would have been like in a sort of one-way traffic right from the start. And then Virat Kohli, yes, 51 hundreds, top of the list. There's no one ahead of him in terms of number of hundreds in ODIs, but then in terms of the overall runs in ODIs, he's currently sitting at number 3 with 14,085, just behind Sangakkara, who's got 14,234. So that's a 150 run difference there. And then obviously we have the god of cricket, Tendulkar, at 18,000. I mean, no disrespect, to Virat, he might be able to get there, but I think it's going to be a tough chase given the number of ODIs they play, and obviously the number of years he'll probably manage. But maybe if they compare the ODI rather than ODI white ball cricket, they can probably add his T20 runs to this, and probably that takes him to that close to that 18k, or maybe he'll surpass Sachin. But yeah, wonderful. And most importantly, it's important to equally also mention Sachin got 18,426 of 463 innings, matches in 452 innings, and then Sangakkara got his 14,234 of 380 innings. And whereas Kohli managed to get just in 287. So he's almost 70 innings less he played to get to the 14k.
Wow, that's incredible, isn't it? That's incredible. And I'm pretty sure that these innings are more on a in a run chase. So absolutely. I would have thought these innings have most probably ended up in winning causes. So that makes a huge difference as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He's called Chase Master for a reason. Another thing I picked up during live yesterday, right? So in the last 6 innings, that doesn't include yesterday's game against Pakistan. Obviously, that's where we sort of play them a lot because we no longer have the bilateral series. So essentially, the last 6 innings he played against Pakistan in ICC events. So the last one was 84 not out. Prior to that, he had a 16. He was out. Prior to that, 77, 5, 81 not out, 107, and yesterday's 100. So essentially, he had 200s and 350s in the last 7 innings against Pakistan.
So he something brings out. It's always a big stage playing against Pakistan, so it brings out that sense of either responsibility or hunger to do well against Pakistan.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, it does mean that whenever India needs runs from him, he delivers.
Yes. Sorry, I just wanted to revisit his century moment, so I was tempted to video recording managed yesterday.
Don't tell me you were watching his highlights now.
Yeah,
you're live in the middle of the podcast. You just got carried away.
Yes, couldn't help it. But yeah, incredible. And like you pointed out, I know there's a hunger or obviously the responsibility, but he tend to enjoy these big moments. And like I pointed out, the only time he's been playing Pakistan is actually in ICC events, and then he continues to like sort of deliver time and again. So yeah, massive achievement, and obviously important to also call out Suresh Iyer, right? What a turnaround of events for him. Like historically he struggled against short bowling, but obviously he sort of changed as a stand now, and obviously now he's able to like really now manage to like play the short ball well, and obviously he's a strike it as well. He's been scoring quicker. Like we've seen that in the bilateral series that just concluded against England, and obviously yesterday again he contributed with 56 of 67 deliveries, 5 fours into 6, and a small contribution from Pandya and Akshar Patel. And I hate to say this, but I'm glad to see the back of Hardik Pandya yesterday when he got out. So
yeah, he wouldn't have let score a century, right?
Yes,
same as against Gill the other day. I mean, I don't know what it is, but he just. I think he's now he's terrorizing batsmen who are batting before him now. So it's better you get 200 before he comes to bat.
I walk in. If not, yeah, I'll take on. What really stood out for you yesterday about Hardik Pandya?
What stood out?
What really stood out for you about Hardik Pandya yesterday?
I don't know. I mean, people were looking at his wrist more than his wrist work in the bowling department. I don't know. Yeah, what was he wearing?
Yeah, once the match concluded, not even one social network I saw anything about how well he bowled and how beautifully he bowled, and he managed to get 3 wickets. It's all about the Richard Mille he wore and the price of the watch, and like people talking about.
What's the price?
I personally I don't know which one is true, but there are some people predicting it's like anywhere between 250k GBP, and then there are other people who are even predicting it's like over 600k something.
Okay.
In currency, you'd probably say people are talking about anywhere between 3 crore INR to 7 to 8 crores.
Oh, great! Yeah. I would love to wear it and go to a cricket match, diving around and everything, and not batting an eyelid doing that really. So that's amazing. That's incredible. Yeah, it's Hardik Pandya. It's worth, right? The occasion. Probably it was the occasion, right? Hardik Pandya has been known to dress up to the occasion. I think that's what it was. He dressed up to the big occasion. It was happening in Dubai. It was in the India-Pakistan match. He was going well. He was bowling really well. I thought he was best of the seamers. And, why not wear, an expensive watch?
Yeah, maybe that's what is bringing all the luck to him.
Probably. Hopefully he will be wearing that more often.
Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much our podcast for today. Obviously, the next game coming up, it's going to be New Zealand, Bangladesh. That sort of decides this group. But obviously, by the time we recorded today, New Zealand managed to beat Bangladesh. The group is sort of closed now. Group A, India and New Zealand will qualify. It all depends on what happens in the next game between New Zealand and India in terms of who finishes first versus second. But yeah, the other game in Group A would be between Bangladesh and Pakistan, which essentially is a dead rubber at the moment. Unfortunate for the host that they're having to walk away so early in the series. But that's how things sort of open up in such a short format.
Sorry, what was the price of that watch again?
It could be anywhere between 250k to 600k.
All right.
Maybe we'll ask the viewers, if anyone owns
3 crores to 7 crores. Okay.
Versus whatever I'm hidden, but if any of our viewers who potentially follow us or this podcast and happen to pick this chat, if you own one, please be kind enough to allow us to borrow it for a few days. If it's Hardik Pandya who notices this, give us a shout on our Rongan's Instagram podcast, chat, and then hopefully send one our way. We'll be gladly wearing it for every podcast going forward.
Yeah, that could be an advertisement for that watch as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, that's the podcast for today. Again, good innings, and obviously Group B also has some good games coming up. So we have South Africa, Australia coming up on the Group E, and then obviously England will play Afghanistan in the next couple of matches. But yeah, let's see how things unfold, and as we look forward to the semifinals. But India, from India's standpoint, they have a week's break now. I don't know the scheduling in terms of probably the sponsors or the event organizers making sure India plays on the weekend so that they get as much traction as possible, making sure people from all around the world can go to the TVs and sort of increase the viewership and obviously bring in the revenue as well. But yeah, they get a week off, so hopefully then you're some bling in Dubai and chill, do some
Yeah, I think Hardik Pandya would need time to shop, isn't it? That's why.
yeah, we go pick a couple of Rolexes and maybe a Philippi and another.
All right.
But yeah, on
Cool.
that note, thank you, Amar. Thank you to our viewers.
Yeah.
Like we always say, good banter. Just share our opinions. So any feedback is always welcome. Yeah, something I haven't said all this while, but I'll probably say this now. Please do comment, share some feedback, and also like they always say, hit the bell icon, subscribe, and we'll try and cater to you as much as possible. Thank you. Have a good night. Cheers.
See you. Bye-bye.